The story of the first commandment, "You shall have no other gods before me." After God rescued the Israelites from slavery in Egypt, he led them through the wilderness to Mount Sinai. There, God revealed his power and majesty in an awe-inspiring display. Thick clouds covered the mountain, thunder roared, lightning flashed, and the sound of a trumpet grew louder and louder. The people trembled as they stood at the foot of the mountain. God called Moses to ascend Mount Sinai to receive his laws for the people. When Moses climbed the mountain, God spoke to him, saying, "I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me." Exodus 22-3. This was the first commandment that God gave to the Israelites, reminding them of his unmatched power and the deliverance he had provided. He wanted the Israelites to stay faithful to him and not worship false gods or idols, as the surrounding nations did. However, while Moses was on the mountain receiving the commandments, the people became impatient. They feared Moses would not return, so they asked Aaron, Moses' brother, to make them a god they could see and worship. Aaron fashioned a golden calf from their gold jewelry, and the people began to worship it, saying, "These are your gods, Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt." Exodus 32:4. When Moses came down from the mountain and saw the people worshiping the golden calf, he was furious. He threw down the stone tablets God had written with his own hand, breaking them. Moses then destroyed the golden calf, grinding it into powder and scattering it in water for the people to drink as a punishment for their sin. God showed mercy, but he reminded the Israelites of his commandment. They were to worship only him, the true and living God, who had delivered them from slavery and provided for them in the wilderness. This story is a powerful reminder of God's desire for his people to remain faithful and devoted to him, rejecting anything that might take his place in their hearts. The story of the second commandment, "You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain." During the time when the Israelites were wandering in the wilderness, they were learning to live as God's chosen people, obeying his laws and honoring his name. Among these laws, God had commanded, "You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain." Exodus 27. One day, among the camp of the Israelites, a man quarreled with another. In his anger, the man blasphemed the name of the Lord, speaking it in a curse. This act shocked those who heard it because it violated the commandment God had given them. The people, unsure of what to do, brought the man to Moses. They placed him in custody, waiting for the Lord's guidance on how to handle such a serious offense. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Bring out of the camp the one who cursed, and let all who heard him lay their hands on his head, and let all the congregation stone him." Leviticus 24:14. The people did as the Lord commanded. Those who had heard the blasphemy placed their hands on the man, signifying their testimony against him. Then the congregation carried out God's judgment, stoning him outside the camp. This event served as a powerful reminder to the Israelites of the holiness of God's name and the seriousness of treating it with reverence. It taught them that the name of the Lord was not to be used lightly, carelessly, or disrespectfully, for his name represented his power, presence, and authority. Through this story, God reminded his